Everybody, thanks for joining us. Earl at thelogbook.com back for more Voyages of Shelf Discovery. Finally opening last year's Star Trek Christmas ornament. Well, to be fair, there are lots of Star Trek Christmas ornaments every year from the fine folks at Hallmark. And I was only budgeted last year to pick up one, but the moment they published the, what is it called, the Dream Book, where they show the upcoming slate of ornaments, there were a lot of tempting ones. I kind of wanted to pick up the new Mandalorian ship. I kind of wanted to pick up, Flying Mando holding Grogu. I kind of wanted to pick up old school Battlestar Galactica. That one speaks to my heart a lot. But if I could only budget for one, this is the one. It's the Hand of Apollo, the giant green hand holding the Enterprise, which you can actually see that in one of the screens above. I wanted to make sure that you could see what this was referencing. And so when I was preparing the little animated loops for this segment, I wanted to make sure, okay, we've got to have the hand. But hilariously, it is also referenced up here in the corner an Amigo playset from 1975, which took it completely out of context and just included this green glove that you can grab the figures with. And so the green hand has kind of taken on a life of its own. It has also been referenced in short treks, although in that case I believe the hand was shown to be at the business end of Abraham Lincoln, Space Abraham Lincoln. So, yeah, Star Trek Green Hand is a thing, and it's so goofy. It happens in, well, I say it happens in one episode, but I just said that it didn't. But the thought of the Green Hand, the idea of the Green Hand, was propagated forward by a 1967 episode called Who Mourns for Adonais. And it's just it's a goofy visual. It was a goofy visual then, even when they did the remastered CGI version so that they could put the original show back in circulation in HD with better special effects. It still managed to be a goofy visual. And it's a goofy visual as a Christmas ornament. So there was no way if I was only going to get one Hallmark ornament last year, this was the one. This one is a fairly easy thing to unbox. Unlike some of Hallmark's ornaments, which they pack in with a square mile of tissue paper, this one had a tray. And I'm very appreciative of that. You just take the top off. There it is. There it is. The ship is a lot more detailed than I was expecting. And here's the thing. Okay, you see the back of the hand has a hole. Kind of a space sphincter. But that is, if you hang this on an actual Christmas tree, you could take one of the small bulbs, probably not one that generates a lot of heat, I would point out, but you stick it in that gap in the back, and then the hand lights up. I had no way to try that out for this, but it was an amazing feature that I wasn't expecting, and it almost makes me want to put up a Christmas tree, except for the fact that, look at this place. I'm practically living a Christmas tree 24/7, or at least at the bottom of one. The loop that you hang the ornament from, that's always a tricky thing. The placement of that is a tricky thing because it has to reflect the center of gravity of the ornament, and the hand really throws off the center of gravity. So the hanging loop is on the pinky finger of the hand. So I promptly dug out an ornament hanger hook, one of the metal ones that I have way too many of because I probably needed only 30 most. You can't get a box of less than 300 of these things. So there it is, hanging up under lights. Again, the Enterprise I wasn't expecting the level of detail. I suppose they're trying to keep traditionally persnickety Star Trek fans happy. I try not to be that kind of fan. I am happy that something like this even exists. I wasn't going to hold them to a huge amount of detail on the ship itself because, let's face it, the real draw is the giant hand holding the ship. But it's fully detailed, and nicely. The nacelles are not a translucent element, they are a solid painted element. That's fine. That's fine. Because that keeps down the cost. And really, I have to admire this was a very affordable ornament because it has no electronics of its own. They could have made the hand a self-lighting feature, which at that point requires a bulb and a battery, and then maybe they'd want to add a button and make it make sounds or something. They didn't do that. This is completely inert. No batteries required, no bulbs required. You supply your own bulb and, shove it up the back of the hand. It's kind of payback for all the times that someone shoved their hand up a puppet. Well, okay, now you get to shove something in the hand. That's great. Getting a closer look here. Now, I will point out, this was just the air currents in the room from the ceiling fan moving the ornament around. I was sitting several feet away from it, absolutely not touching it. And so it keeps turning in this video by itself. So, yes, the green hand, it's real. It's real, people. It's grabbing you. So, a very nicely done ornament. Absolutely the goofiest possible thing you could do for a Star Trek ornament. And by default, that means I absolutely love it. The sculpt on the hand is very nice. It's very detailed. It's perhaps also more detailed than I was expecting. The plastic that makes up the hand seems to be fairly thick, so they seem to have thought everything out. While I recommend sticking an LED bulb in the back of the hand to light it up, if you're going to do that, I believe they manufactured the hand to stand up to someone possibly throwing a bulb in there that is going to generate heat, and so you want the hand to be able to withstand that. That's really neat. I'm glad that they thought that out, because having worked in IT, the first rule of trying to make things foolproof is to never underestimate the ingenuity of complete and total fools. So now you know. So there you go. If I could only get, and I did only get one ornament in 2023 related to any of my geeky franchise favorites, this was absolutely one. This was the one. When I laid eyes on it in the catalog, I knew this was how Hallmark was getting my money out from under me in 2023.